Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 1, Club America 1. First US Tour pre-season game done. What did we learn? Can we learn a lot? Negativity shouldn't really be a factor because this is a pre-season game, as we all know. But still a lot learned. Still a lot learned from that game in relation to Manchester United. One of the most interesting things to start off with is Jose Mourinho before the game said that this will probably be my back four for the start of the season, which is Luke Shaw, Smalling, Bailly and Valencia. I think that needs to stop, Jose. I'm a little bit bored of that. I don't know what you lot think, but I'm a little bit bored of this. I'm only going to be able to use the players that I've got at the moment. Poor, woe is me. I've got no players to use. Look, we weren't the only club in the world that sent players to the World Cup. Everybody else has done it, and everybody else will play their players. We're playing about 12 hours before most other teams on that Friday night. Get over it. Lindelof's back next week. He can play. Jones shouldn't play, but he'll be back. Ashley Young will be back. It'll be fine. This negativity needs to stop from Jose. Get on with it. Hopefully he's saying it to try and get us some signings, but stop with all this nonsense about this is going to be my front three, Mata and Marciano. You know, we will have players back. But in relation to this game, what did we learn? So we played a 4-3-3. My man of the match was Andres Pereira. Although there was something I was really not happy about Pereira in that game. Little nitpicking, but I wasn't. Martial played up front. Herrera and McTominay played in the more advanced midfield positions with Pereira playing deeper. I was more looking at the style of play, whether anything improved for Manchester United from last season. Now, we can't expect much improvement because it's a pre-season game, but what you can start to see is if there's any change in the way we press the ball, any change in the way we move the ball. And for me, that game was very similar to last season in the sense that the front three was starved of the ball and the midfield didn't move the ball quick enough or support the front three. Now, this was something last season we said time and time again. We don't press the ball. We're quite lazy when we haven't got the ball. And then when we have got the ball in the midfield, we don't move it from back to front quick enough. So the front three become very isolated. And that certainly, I think the first 10 minutes we started off quite well. I think Shaw and Dimitri Mitchell down that left-hand side looked really good the first 10 minutes. Then that disappeared. But yeah, definitely McTominay and Herrera just don't have the ball distribution skills or the speed on the ball to feed the people in front of them. So I thought Andres Pereira was fantastic, my man of the match. He played in that centre defensive midfield position, which he played a couple of years ago in a pre-season game against Wigan and played really well there. Did really well. I mean, the only thing I would say about that is that Pereira was my man of the match, but it's not really, he can play that position. But why didn't we just swap him with Herrera after half an hour and have Pereira playing in a more advanced position? Because he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant at holding onto the ball, feeding players. And the great thing about Pereira is that he's much... I mean, Matic will be our CDM next season, but Pereira, and he's better than Pereira, but Pereira's far more pleasing on the eye because when he gets the ball, he'll hit a pass off first time or he'll take a quick touch and he'll pass it off. And he's much more mobile and he's trying to get things going. He's more like Carrick than Matic will ever be. But ahead of him, he's got McTominay and Herrera, who actually would have been far better in a CDM role than the more advanced role. And that's where United really did well to get a draw today, because we probably could have lost it. The goal came from Chong. Chong came on for about half an hour. Didn't get lots of the ball, but when he did, he looked confident. Remember, he's only 18 years of age. Down that right-hand side, whipped a nice cross in. Herrera heads it against the post. They half clear it, and Mata hits it with his right foot. Keeper makes a hash of it, and it's 1-0. Before that, we'd gone 1-0 down to a goal from Club America, because that's who we were playing. But Broski R says, going to the Sunday game, can't wait to watch Chong. I hope he plays for you, mate, because he did really well, didn't he? But the goal was Eric Bailly's fault. Good cross in from Club America. Bailly gets stuck under the cross and it's a free header, but he did very well to put it away. So I'm pleased that Manchester United got a draw out of that, because it's not really about results at this point, but we have got a lot of inexperienced players in that squad, and it'll do people like Chong and Pereira the world of good to know that they played a very good Club America team who've played a lot of pre-season games, and they were very physical, and we came out with a draw. So that's the positive for me. McTominay was really slow, says Samuel. Look, I think in relation to picking somebody apart for having a bad game, it would be wrong, because it is pre-season and people adjust to their everybody's different. Some people will be hitting their peak of fitness a lot quicker than other people will. I think some people faded in that game, But if you were nitpicking, and a lot of United fans are over in America spending money to go and watch that game, I would just say that the midfield again was the problem, where we're not moving the ball well enough from back to front, and then the front three, Martial, Mata and Mitchell in the first half, Chong, Mata and Greenwood came on for a little bit. We actually, Martial went off with a potential injury. We were playing with a false nine, so that was quite interesting. But yeah, it's the inability to move the ball through the midfield is still a problem for Manchester United, and our lack of time for our lack of effort to go and press the ball. These are the two things that we really need to solve next season, and I'm hoping that Carrick and McKenna will sort of push Jose to solve that, because it's only a pre-season game, so there's no point worrying about it. But looking at the last 6 months of last season and looking at that 90 minutes today, there were similarities between formation and also the inability to move the ball quickly from back to front and the inability to press the ball high up the pitch. We're not doing that. And unfortunately, I think in the modern game, if you don't press the ball high up the pitch, you are going to struggle, and you've got to move the ball well, and we didn't do that well today. But his midfield options were, in defence of Mourinho, very, very slim. He played Pereira, Herrera and McTominay for most of the game, and if he subbed any of those off, he's basically going Ethan Hamilton or James Garner. So we really don't have many midfield options at all. What I will say is that I think with 20 minutes to go, we were 1-0 down. And he missed Fellaini, didn't he? He did miss Fellaini. He missed that Fellaini option to be able to go and hoof it. So I was glad that we got 1-1 because I guarantee Fellaini would have been involved in that last 20 minutes. But all in all, I'm glad that we're up and running. It was nice to watch a Manchester United game. It was great to see Pereira playing. I think he is the one player that I think can step up. Remember Jose always says there's one youth player every year that I want to promote. And I think Pereira is sort of in the box seat for that this season. Fosu Mensah came on in the second half at right back. Didn't set the world on fire. And to be honest, he got, him and Mata didn't get close enough to the cross. And then Bays got himself caught out. But in general, it's our first game. I think against San Jose on Sunday night, we'd hope to see a little bit more from United offensively. Club America are a good team. We did well to get a point and get a draw. But we need to do more. We need to do more in that midfield. That's the area that we need to do more. And it doesn't matter whether it's pre-season, doesn't matter who's playing. There's two things Jose can implement quite quickly, which is one, we press the ball better, and two, we move the ball better to our front three. And I just would have moved Pereira forward and Herrera back, because Herrera doesn't want to pass forward. So why didn't we just put Pereira into Herrera's position and drop Herrera into Pereira's position? Because Pereira did well, and he looked like he was the player that was going to make things happen, but he was way too deep. So I want to see Pereira playing in a more advanced position, because then I think we will be able to link the front two. I mean, Martial was isolated. Be very difficult to sort of say Martial had a bad game. I think Martial haters will say he had a bad game, but it could have been Lukaku playing today. He was starved of service. Mata was busy but didn't get a lot of the ball. And Mitchell hardly got any of the ball as well. So that front three, if you think back to last season, how many times did we say Lukaku's not getting a lot of the ball, Sanchez not getting a lot of the ball, Lingard, Rashford, Martial? They are being starved because we don't move the ball from back to front quick enough. And that happened again today. But it's only one game, and hopefully we will see some improvement. Chong was fantastic. Lots of people talking about Chong. I mean, it was a cameo for Chong, but hopefully we'll see more of that cameo on Sunday and throughout this tour. Didn't use a lot of the youth players. Tried to stick a lot with the first teamers. But what we did see of Pereira was good. What we did see of Chong was very good. So those are the positives. Anyway, I'm going to go get some sleep. Thanks everybody who watched the watch along. If you didn't watch it, you missed it, make sure you're going to watch some of these games, because we really had a good time watching it. And if you are just getting up in the UK, you might think, I didn't miss much, but this is what it's all about, Manchester United. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video, especially for yourselves if you are watching at 5 o'clock in the morning or wherever you are. And remember, Transfer Daily is not at 7 o'clock today, because that is literally in an hour and a half's time. I'm going to do Transfer Daily at midday, a live Transfer Daily at midday today, UK time. So I'll see you then for that. Thanks everyone for watching. The season's up and running, pre-season. Some positives, some concerns. you'd expect that. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.